is going on, Governor? Chisgule here, and today we've got a lot to talk about. We had a 9 Alliance war for a level 3 pass. They then rallied a player with 62 million power by sending 3 maxed out rallies. Yeah, it was crazy. We're also going to talk about Alliance Battlegrounds, which has a big update, and then also we're going to talk about the change to how jumper accounts can work and really the functioning of the beginner's teleport. If you like bleeding edge guides, news, and crazy warp reports and videos, you should like and subscribe. We're going to bring that to you all the time, and we're sponsored by the creators of Rise of Civilizations. So, with that said, holy moly, 9 Alliance War. So I'm minding my own business, driving home from a family vacation, and I open up the game. What do I see? Huge war. Huge war broke out. And ultimately, we were trying to capture a level 3 pass. The intention was preventing a certain set of alliances from entering into the Lost Temple area. And they were able to ultimately push us back from controlling the pass. We had a little mix-up somehow where we were unable to get our 62 million power player with T5 and exceptionally skilled Richard I and Charles Martel to be promoted to the captain of the garrison. We'll have a separate video about how you do that, but if you have the right garrison commanders on a pass, it seems awfully difficult, near impossible to try to take. Anyways, we get pushed back, and I'm going to have some video rolling, which you're probably looking at now, that shows the insanity of this battle. This is with simplified graphics going, okay? So every little speck represents an entire army of probably multiple hundreds of thousands of troops. This is a big war. At the end of the day, we headed back to our Alliance territories, respectively, and our Alpha stayed there. He doesn't need to teleport anywhere. He's got 62 million power. Who'd be crazy enough to attack him? Well, the enemies that were attacking us decided this was the time to launch 3 rallies simultaneously on this player. So, they launched the 3 rallies. I open up the game because I'm driving. I thought everything was done, right? And I hit record because there's this huge rally going on against our Alpha, and I'm like, oh god, what is happening right now? And what happens here is actually fairly shocking. I mentioned earlier, this defender has exceptionally skilled Richard I and Charles Martel. If you haven't seen my Garrison Commander video, you should watch it because you can punish the heck out of people who try to attack you, especially if you've got a lot of troops. And that is exactly what happens here. Yes, our Alpha did have to do probably a lot of resources in healing up his troops afterwards, but I sent him a message since I wasn't able to see the battle reports, and he said he had 0 or near 0 dead. Because when troops are severely wounded, they go to the hospital rather than dying. And that is why being the defender, one of many reasons why being the defender, is so freaking powerful. So I thought this was a pretty incredible war, pretty incredible culmination of that war. And I think the question that I'm kind of left with is how the heck do you take down a very high-powered player? I mean, they really have to be asleep at the wheel in order for that to work out. So I don't know how you do it. I don't know how that works, but once I figure out how you do it, I'll be sure to report that here. For now, the Alpha from our Alliance still reigns strong as ever. So that was a heck of an experience, and next time I look forward to actually participating in one of those wars a little more wholeheartedly. Optimally, could we not do that when I'm like driving home from vacation with family? That'd be great. That'd be swell. Thanks, guys. So, with that said, we've got exciting news, very exciting news about the Alliance Battlegrounds, and they posted this to the Rise of Civilizations Facebook page, and there isn't a whole heck of a lot to see. What they say is that the conflict between the Egyptian deities can be contained no longer. Are you ready to capture the Ark of Osiris and become the ruler of this ancient land? More details coming soon. So to me, this tells us actually many things. The first is that this involves capturing points, which I suppose would have been expected. But we also know that it's Egyptian. And what I think is interesting about it being Egyptian is that they're really opening the door for having new commanders come into the game that are Egyptian for introducing a new Egyptian civilization. We already have Cleopatra, so there's an indication that they might do something like that anyways. I think it's pretty exciting. Now, the Alliance battlegrounds probably are not the kingdom versus kingdom mayhem that we're looking for just yet. My impression from this is that it's going to be one alliance against another. My best guess would be that you pit alliances against each other that have roughly the same amount of power. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm eager to see, and I will report on that as soon as we have that information. Now, the next important piece of business here is that the way that beginners teleport works has changed. And it was really intended to combat people who are selling resources, which, I guess I've gotten a couple messages, if I'm honest, indicating that people wanted to sell me resources, which is not a thing that I'm interested in at all. In fact, I think it's pretty toxic for the game. So, in order to sort of minimize the ease of being able to do that, they made it so that you can no longer use a beginner's teleport to jump to a kingdom that is older than 10 days, that's been open for more than 10 days. So, what this means, if you're doing a jumper account, is that, and by the way, I'll have a link either in the description or a card in the top to my jumper guide that I posted most recently that explains a little bit about how this stuff works. But essentially, your first kingdom that you want to go to should be a very early kingdom, less than kingdom, I think, 31, so that you can try to get Yi Seong-Ye or Richard I, and the whole map will be really clear, so you can go and you don't have to explore everything. Alternatively, you then, for your middle kingdom, have to go to a kingdom that's less than 10 days old, and then you make a jump to your final kingdom. But I got a really awesome set of messages on Discord from Sandra Games, who conveniently, literally, like, I think it was the day before this update was posted and we got this message, had shared with me a way that they had approached doing a jumper account that they said was really, really good. Now, this is a completely different route than the one that I suggested in my videos. And in this route, you start in a recent server, 2 days old, and you farm it for 5 days. Then you jump to a middle kingdom that's 2 days old, and you farm there for another 4 days. And then you jump to your final kingdom. Now, while doing this, you have Lohar event access for the whole 10 days. You can join alliances that are about to capture sanctums, and you get a ton of rewards. This person got 7 sanctums worth of rewards in their first server, and 9 sanctums worth of rewards in their second. Pretty incredible. And you can gather resources from villages and caves. I'll note that the other major change that's happened here is that instead of getting resources from tribal villages, you'll now get experience tomes, which seems really good. Now, using this route, this player was able to get to VIP 8 when they captured the altars in their final server, which is really incredible. So I think there's still a lot of good ways to do this jumper approach. And by the way, they got so many arrows of resistance from farming all these barbarians for Lohar that they got to level 19 with their watchtower. Easy peasy once the whole process was done. That's insane. So I think jumping can still work. I think it can still be very effective, but we're going to have to get creative in the routes that we take. And you can do the jumper process without going for Yi Seong-Ye or going for Richard I at all and come out pretty darn wealthy from that entire process. So, my friends, I hope you found this video helpful. I'm going to keep reporting on this war stuff because my kingdom's really spicy, although my preference would be prosperous peace. The war now makes for great content, so I can either film us battling with each other or winning in KVK when it comes out. Hopefully, I'll get to film both. Until next time, my friends, you have fun smashing the kingdom.